Well, welcome back to the Mid-Norfolk garden, and in this video we're going to demonstrate how to propagate catmints. And the garden here, the catmints all were propagated from the cutting technique we're going to show you, and have grown here from those young plants to these what now look like mature established hedges almost of catmint in as little as 16 weeks, believe it or not. None of these catmints were in place or growing before that. This garden was a mud pile waiting to be flattened by the mini digger as early as April this year, and this is the effect you can get using this propagation technique in just one season. These ones are the second little hedge that we planted directly into the ground using this technique, and the last one to come on, which was done about 9 weeks ago, is this little hedge here, which will edge the final border of this quadrant garden. But just look at the effect you can get. Single season, remember, 16, 12, as little as 8 weeks they can be in flower from the cutting technique we're going to show you. But to do this and to get this many catmints, you're going to have some established catmints or a friend who's grown some catmints the previous season. Mixed border now for probably 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. And what you're looking for is stems that are coming out. You can see it's had its flush with the flowers on with these long stems, which we will now be cutting back. But around the base it's starting to shoot again, and what you're looking for is lateral stems coming from the base of the plant, and you're looking just to pull one of those from the plant. And this one is quite a large rooted in cutting. Sometimes what you need to do is just loosen it with a pair of snips if it's really established and bonded to the plant. What I'm just going to do is cut through the main stem there. There we go, just to loosen it, and then that should come away. There we go. Right, just look at what I've got from this. Big segment of root come away. They won't always have quite that much growth on them. Here are the old flowering stems from this year. So the first thing to do is to remove these. 1, 2. And what I've got there is a really good 5, 6 stem new ready rooted plant ready to pot on. And what I'm going to do is try and get some more of these from around this plant, and quite often even off a single plant like this you can get, see that one's come away with very little root. I wouldn't bother with that one. Let's just see if I can get a better one for you. There, that one's come away nicely. Again, you can see we've got the fresh young growth coming up here. Remove the old stem, and you've got at the base a little bit of old hardwood cutting effectively, with the starting of roots coming away from it. So what I'm going to do is continue to pull and remove as many of these as I can find that are going to make suitable young cuttings. There's another one come away. Lovely bit of root on that. New bit of growth coming away from the old stem, so we cut that one back to here. There we go, 3 cuttings already, ready rooted, ready to go. I think I've probably got another one coming away here quite easily. See what we've got. Now there's another nice one. Again, the old stem comes off, leaving hardwood cutting with a bit of root coming away. So from this one plant I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 new plants to go and pot up. So let's go and do that now. So here we are down at my compost heap. It's incredibly dry, this compost. You can see how powdery it is. But this plant is going to really romp away in this. I'm just going to try, and it is going to have a bit of a haircut because we've disturbed the roots. This plant's going to establish much better if you actually trim back some of the upper growth on it. It's going to put less of a strain on the roots while they get established. Let's just do another one. This one you can see again a lot of growth, very little root on it. So we bury them quite deep so that those roots and the old stems are well covered. There we go, and again I'm just going to trim this back to about 4 or 5 leaves, and there's number 2 done. And I'm just going to keep going with these other cuttings. This one's got even less established root on it, so we're going to get it nice and deep. Plenty of compost around the new stem. And again, just to get this going, cut it back to about half a dozen leaves. Okay, so what we're going to do those is just put them across. And I've got here in my propagation area a nice wet water trough that we use. And you can see quite a few of these that we did earlier. Probably got about 12.5 now. I've again trimmed these back where they were long stems, watered them really well, and we're going to do the same with those. And within 2 or 3 weeks you'll have a plant that looks like this. You can see the growth that was first on there has died back, but the new growth and buds all along the hardwood cutting and stem starting to shoot away. And that will grow really quite quickly from here on out. And like the plants we showed you in the new rose garden, you should have these flowering in under 12 weeks as almost fully sized catmint plants. It's that easy.